Good morning, Grit and Grace unit. I'm super excited for this week because this week I'm going to attempt, I'm going to attempt to help you and me have a conversation about how to find your ideal client, how to identify them, who are they, where do they hang out, um, how do we talk to them? How do we begin conversations with them? And predominantly, this is for online. I've heard from multiple of you over the last 2 years. And again, most recently, that you feel like you're talking to nobody. Like you're talking and talking. It's like wah 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 wah, right? And nobody's responding, talking to you back. There's no community, there's no connection. And so this week, I really want to explore all week in some small bite sized pieces. How do we figure out how to do all of this? And so, the most important thing that you can do, and this is actually in person as well as um, online, is who are you talking to? And so, who is that person that is your ideal client? So, frequently we say, well, we're in the skincare industry, so anybody with skin is our client. Okay, well, a baby has skin. And so I could be saying, oh my word, buy this cleanser. And the baby's like, whatever. Clearly, a baby's not going to buy our product. They're not our ideal client. Someone who's 95 years old has skin. They may or may not be our ideal client. Men have skin. Um, we have men's skincare products, but they're not my personal ideal client. So, what I would say to a man, and what I would say to a woman, and what I would say to a 25-year-old woman, and what I would say to a 45-year-old woman are all very, very different things. We have different needs. Um, we have different places in our life, and how we communicate and where we find them. All of these are very, very, very different. So often, what I find, especially in our industry, is that we're like, buy me, buy me, buy me. This is amazing. It's so cool. Like, buy me. Nobody responds to that. Seriously. Even yourself, you don't respond to that. And so we have to refrain from trying to sell instead of serve, right? And so if we serve people and we talk to them where they're at and we identify and speak to their needs, they're much more willing and interested and excited to engage with us. So, today, I want to start the conversation of knowing who your ideal client is. There are many of us in our unit, and every single one of us might have a different, and probably will have a different ideal client that we're talking to. Okay. So if you've been getting crickets to all of your posts, probably this is going to help you. Probably 99.9% chance that if you change this one thing, it will make a difference in how you speak on social media, how you show up on social media, and who you're speaking to. Okay. So I have heard this training from probably 4 or 5 different trainings throughout my career, especially the last 2 years. And so I promise it's not just one person's idea. This is like industry wide, and it was before the pandemic and it's after the pandemic. It's just a true statement. Okay, so some people will call it a dream client, some people will call it who is your avatar. There's lots of ways that you can talk about it, but one thing you really want to know is that when you're very specific as to who that client is, you're going to get better results. So we want to identify one person with lots and lots and lots of details. Here's the thing. Sometimes when we say, well, we want to talk to everybody can use my product. Well, I promise you that when you speak to one person, as if they're your best friend or your girlfriend next door, that you're going to attract other people because your good friend or that person that has a very specific need, other people also have that specific need, okay? So when you speak to everyone, you attract absolutely no one, okay? So when you sit down to create your content this week, I want you to be thinking about who is it I'm wanting to attract? What does that person look like? Where do they shop? What do they do? Where I'm going to give you some very specific questions. So you're going to want to get paper and pencil out, okay? Because I think, well, Mary Kay said it is a sharp pencil is better than a dull mind or something like that. It's like so important. Or a dull pencil is sharper than any, I don't know. I'll have to look up the quote. But the point is, when you write stuff down, you retain it a whole lot better. Okay. So this is going to be a fictitious person. Okay. It doesn't have to be somebody you actually know, but this person that we're going to make up, that we're going to talk to, is going to have the needs or the ideal qualities that we want in a client. Okay. So when you're having a chat with her, virtually online, you're going to be asking yourself some questions. Okay. Um, so let's talk about how to find this person first. Okay. So, got your paper and pencil? Are you ready to go? Okay. I want you to name this person. So, for this example, we're going to call her, um, what shall we call my Isabel? That's too long. We'll call her Belle. Okay, so Belle is my fictitious client that I'm going to be speaking to. And I'm going to say that she is 38 years old. She's married. She has 3 kids. And she lives in Byron Center. Okay. She is a college graduate. She is a banker. She loves her profession. She is a mom and she's also a stepmom. Okay. And she has some really awesome role models. She loves following the gals on the Home Edit TV, or it's on Netflix. Have you ever seen the Home Edit? She also really admires, um, who is that? And I got to think of who she admires right now. I don't have that information. So see where I'm going with this? So I'm going to go back to some of these questions. I told you I was going to ask you the questions. So what is her name? You're going to come up with a name for this fictitious person. How old is she? What is her relationship status? Is she single? Is she married? Is she divorced? Does she have any kids? If she does, how many kids does she have? Where does she live? What is her education? Is she, or her kids' education? Or, was she private school, public schooled, homeschooled? And how about her children? What is her highest level of education? What does she do for a living? And does she have any role models? If so, who are they? And what are some of the hopes in her life? So, in my fictitious person I'm going to be creating, probably some of the hopes would be that she wants to have flexible time. She wants to be able to um, stay at home, but she also loves being a professional and she wants to grow herself. So she wants to become the best version of herself, but she also wants to make sure she doesn't give up any of the qualities of being a great mom. And so, what is she afraid of? Okay, so she's afraid of not having connection with her kids, of her kids getting all messed up with all the stuff that's going on in the world today. Um, Maybe she's afraid of not having enough income. So, those are the things that you'd ask yourself. What is she afraid of? What does she value most in life? What are her greatest strengths and her greatest weaknesses? And what is her favorite beverage? And what is her favorite meal or her snack? Or where does she love to eat? And what hobbies does she have? You don't have to answer all of these. You just want to create a story about a person who is our or your personal ideal client. So, you might ask, where does she shop? That's a really important thing. What does she watch on TV? What is the music she likes to listen to? Where does she show up on social media? Does she show up on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn? Um, yeah. What content does she enjoy seeing? What are some of the accounts that she follows on social media? Okay. So today, that's as far as I'm going to get. I want you to ask yourself these questions and start to write down a story about your personal ideal client. Let me just give you, this is going to go a little longer today, but just imagine her as your favorite client in a book or a favorite character in a book. It may not even like it's not based on a real person, but it could be. It absolutely could be. Okay. Here's the thing, the way I would talk to a 25-year-old who's single and what she likes to do and how she shows up in the world and where she shows up on social media is completely different than talking to my 45-year-old girlfriends and what they need in life. My 45-year-old girlfriends have kiddos. They're at home for the summer. They're traveling a lot. Maybe they're camping, or maybe their husband is now working from home too, or like the needs and the wants and the places where people show up in their different age groups is so different. Okay, so that's your assignment today, is to take those questions and ponder, who is my ideal client? Like, if I could name her, I could create her, and I could meet her out and about in the world today. What does she look like? Who do I love working with? This is such an exciting and fun challenge, because if you can get this right, your business is going to change, and how you show up for your business is going to change. Okay, let me know what you think and what questions you have. Talk to you later.